Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to the story of Angulimala. So this is from Tsem. I looked at the image, and this looks like the story of, I believe it was Buddha and this person that had to kill one more person to satiate something. I think he was supposed to kill like 100 people, and Buddha was the 100th one. So, and I believe that was, and I did in fact fast forward this, just want to make sure that I had it right. I didn't really listen to all of the stories, so and this is what I remember listening to Sadhguru talking about. So in a way, let's hear what Sam here has to say about the story.
Have you ever heard of the story about Angulimala? Angulimala was a very spiritual young Indian gentleman, and he wanted to find liberation. He wanted to find a way out of samsara. He wanted to find nirvana. And he found a teacher who taught him that if he kills 1,000 individuals, and each individual he kills, and he cuts off their digit, their one digit, and wears it, when he wears the 1,000th digit, he will become enlightened, he will reach nirvana. He believed it. He believed it, he loved it, and he ran around the countryside helter-skelter, because it was a spiritual practice to him. And he waited at the waysides, he waited behind trees, behind boulders, behind shrubs, and he would jump out at people, murder them, cut off their finger, and string it onto what he had. So the local people started calling him Angulimala. Angui is finger, mala is a rosary. And so he did that happily. He had killed 999 persons. He had one person left until he reaches nirvana. The Buddha walked by. He was so happy and ecstatic because that's his 1,000th victim. He doesn't even know it's a Buddha, but the Buddha walked by because it was during Buddha's time. And he chased after Buddha. Buddha, with his omniscience and clairvoyance, knows what Angulimala wants. Knows he wants to kill and what he's been doing. So Angulimala chased after Buddha, and there was a distance of about 7 to 10 paces, something like that, between them. When he ran faster, Buddha would still be walking, and the pace would remain the same. And when he slowed down, the pace would remain the same. He couldn't get closer to the Buddha no matter how fast he walked, how he ran, or how he slowed down. Finally, he was exasperated and tired, and just really panting away. And he said, "Could you stop walking? Could you stop moving? I can't catch you." And the Buddha said to him, "Why do you need to catch me?" And so Angulimala told him, "I need to be enlightened. I need to reach nirvana." And Buddha asked him, nirvana is a state in which one's mind benefits others. And one's mind is always abiding in peace and happiness and benefiting others. How can a state of nirvana be achieved by acting the opposite? And then Angulimala said, "What are you talking about? By killing people, you make people lose uncles, aunts, mothers, fathers, daughters, sisters, brothers, teachers. So by making them lose and giving them so much pain and heartache and loss, how can that actually lead to nirvana?" Angulimala thought about it. He says it couldn't, could it? Buddha says it could not. How can a negative action lead to a positive result? How can the murder of others lead to you liberating yourself and others? Because the purpose of liberation is to liberate yourself and therefore others in the future. How can you liberate others when you yourself cannot be liberated? How can negative actions lead to liberation?
Kind of weird, huh? Where he he thought this actions would lead them to liberation, the suffering and the ending of people's lives. The sheer fact that he never questioned it either, and the fact that he was so happy to do it. He just needed a reason to do something to benefit himself to do it, regardless of what the consequences of those actions were.
Because of the aeons of speaking the truth, because of aeons of Buddha always telling the truth, his speech had more power to Angulimala's ears than an ordinary person. So when Angulimala listened, he contemplated, he regretted. He broke down inconsolably for the 999 persons he had murdered. The the pain he had caused. Some families completely died because the breadwinner was the father. The father was killed. He had deep remorse, and he asked the Buddha how. And the Buddha said to him, sin no more, collect no more karma, stop immediately, regret your actions, take on the vows of becoming a monk. So he did. He regretted deeply. He became a monk. And he went to do meditation. But because he had gone to so many villages and he had murdered so many people, every day the monks would go on alms begging. They would go and beg for alms. When he went with the monks, the other monks would put their bowls out, and the people would give them rice and vegetables. When he put a bowl out, they threw rocks and hit him. So pretty much Angulimala could not go with the other monks. He could not travel with the other monks because sometimes the rocks would fall on the other monks by accident. So Angulimala would go on his own. But wherever he went, people would throw rocks at him. They would wail, they would cry, they would scream, and they didn't respect him. They don't care he's a monk. They just remember who he had killed in their family, and they could not take it. So he came to the Buddha, not able to get food. The Buddha gave him food. And he was wounded and bleeding. But Buddha gave him food and said, this is the result of your negative karma. You follow the wrong path. You listen to the wrong teaching. And the teaching can come from our grandparents, come from our parents, it can come from our friends, society. When they teach us to do negative things, we don't know. They don't know. So this is the result of your karma. You have to take your karma. Be patient. Do not react back. You have created much pain in their lives. You have to accept. So Angulimala did. And I think later on, Angulimala, the monks brought him food because he couldn't go out and beg. He just couldn't go anywhere because people would throw rocks at him all the time. But he never lost his patience. He never lost anger. He never showed anger to anyone after becoming a monk because he knows what he did. So he meditated, and incredibly, he was able to purify so much negative karma through his meditation that in that very life, he became an arhat, which means someone who doesn't return back to samsara. He didn't become a Buddha. He became an arhat. We call lohan in that one life. So he became the arhat Angulimala. My point, who hasn't committed negative karma? Everybody in this room is in this room because we created negative karma that's already here. No one's an exception. But to do something about it is divine, is the right way. You have the great karma and the great virtue from your previous life to come across Buddha's teachings and listen and want to reverse what you're doing. That is excellent. Do not lose hope. Do not be scared. If I may say so with respect, it's better to be poor and do good things than to be rich because of bad things. Don't take offense. Think about that carefully. Save the lives of animals. Save the lives of others. Skinning is one of the worst ways we can kill them. It is in your hands. Yes, you might think someone else might do it if you don't do it, but you don't do it. Other options will arise. Other options will arise. I will pray for you. You keep Setra very close to you, and you ask him for help. He will give you help. Maybe the other option that comes along might not be as lucrative as the current one. But what do we want in the end? Peace or blood and money? And I think you have honor and you have a conscience. Good for you. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here. Keep going with it. Show a good example to your children. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I do remember Sadhguru saying that Angulimala, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, became one of Buddha's great teachers. Strangely enough, in this one, Tsem here says that he never could leave the the monastery or whatever it may be. I can't remember what they called it. I don't know if they called it that or not. But anyway, he couldn't leave because they'd constantly throw rocks at him. You know, it's. But the thing is, I guess the most important thing here, I will say, is the fact that he understands why this is happening. And this is, again, something I say over and over again, but I hope to, just in case this is your first time watching me, is preach understanding. Understanding why things are. I think if you can understand why things are, I'm not sitting here going to say that, oh, you'll be enlightened or anything like that. No. But I think you will be able to handle whatever may come to your stress or sadness better. Because when you understand something, I think it lessens the impact. At the very least, it lessens the impact of things. It won't be as hard. But I think that's just human nature to want to know why. And I think understanding why, there's a little bit of a closure. Not necessarily the end of suffering, but just a closure in terms of a reduction of suffering. There's been many incidents in the United States where people wonder why, and if they don't know why, it's never a closure. That wound is gaping open. But with at least understanding of why, that the healing process can begin. So, and something, again, like I said, I preach is understanding. Not meaning to understand people like, oh, I understand where you're coming from necessarily, but understanding more than just that. Understanding why people act the way they act, why you're in a situation that you're in. It's just everything understanding. That way you can improve upon yourself if you understand why you're in your situation. Maybe you don't know how to improve upon yourself, but you understand why you're in your situation. That will at least let you not suffer so much as to why am I in this position. You know, you understand why. So anyway, it's a very interesting story. Again, from a different perspective of Angulimala. Although he didn't say the Lee portion. And the audio, this is directly from his website. I hope to get better audio. I think in later on they do, or I guess it depends on where the recording is. I'm not sure. Again, the original video will be in the description, or you can copy my title without the react and search for it. And listen it from there. Anyway, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.